Know your playbook, because if you can't, they can't play you. If you jumping all around and stuff, if you jumping out of your gap and stuff, because what you played in the gap control defense, you get out of your gap, that running back is hitting his head on the goalpost, and you're gonna be sitting on the side, and everybody's gonna be, well, why isn't he in there? Because you don't know what the hell to do. And don't be lazy. Do not be lazy. Don't let them see you loafing. Never let them see you loafing. And that's the worst thing in the world to be dubbed as a lazy ass.
Man, I had a blast the other day when I was on the Seth Joyner show. And boy, I'll tell you something. Hollis Thomas, man, I'll tell you, man, I could see why he was a leader, and I could see why he played 10-plus years in the National Football League. He joins us right now here on the National Football Show. And Hollis, I got to tell you something, man. The more I looked into your background and the more I looked into how you played in the league, you're an undrafted free agent.
Yep.
You played 10-plus years in
14.
the league. I want to tell people, that is so unbelievable. A guy like Hollis is usually a guy holding a bag and he's out the next week. To play 10-plus years and to be a fixture on a defense. Hollis, did you know right away when you showed up in Philly that you were going to be an NFL player?
Yeah. Can you hear me?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, good. Yeah, I was just when I came here, one of the main reasons I came to Philly was because they said all I had to do was show them what I showed them on my highlight reel. I sent the highlight reel to all the teams because at the time Northern Illinois was not well known for football. All we had up to that point was like Todd Pete, and we had a cowboy, LaShawn Johnson, who led the nation in rushing like a couple years before I came out. And that was pretty much it. And it was like, so, I sent my tape to everybody, and ended up talking to the owner of the team that day, including from the head coach, from the owner all the way down to the position coach. And they just said all I had to do was come in and do what I showed them on the tape. And once I got to training camp, I started kind of handling business. I was like, okay, it's a little different. It's a little faster. And then I think the time I knew that I was going to be able to stick was the first goal line period, when I was on the first goal line in pads and full gear when everybody was there, and I kept hitting Ricky Waters in the backfield, and he kept getting pissed off. So that was my rookie year, and then everybody started sticking up for me. And then once I got to learning the different integral parts of the game, and the thirst to want to play more and more, and my dad, rest his soul, he always said it: you'll always have a job as long as you make plays, because players make plays, and he was correct. So I enjoyed myself thoroughly there. I didn't want to leave when they traded me, but I went to the Saints, and I had a great time. My best time was here in Philly, though, and Andy Reid is not calling those plays. That's Eric Bieniemy. Give Eric Bieniemy his just desserts, because when Andy Reid was calling the plays, they did not make it to the Super Bowl. They did not win the Super Bowl. And when he was calling the plays, Doug Peterson was there, and they would only make it to the championship game. He's predictable. You say I played under Andy Reid for 7 years. Most of them was great, but he ended up being exactly what my mom called him: a snake in the grass. You can't have on that many hats, and it messes up the relationship of you, the relationship with you and players. You can't be the coach at GM, because you can't tell me, well, I can't do nothing about your contract. Yes, you can. You're the GM as well. So in doing that and lying to people, he pissed. That's why I don't really mess with him.
Hollis, let me ask you. You know what? I made that comment about him when John Dorsey left Kansas City. Right. John Dorsey was the guy that brought in Mahomes. He's the guy that brought in all the talent. And when Andy ran his ass out of there,
right,
now he's kind of in control of the personnel. He lets Hill roll out of the building, and we're starting to see that dynamic work itself like it did in Philly, where you think he's got too much control in Kansas City right now?
Well, yeah, you got to be able to coach. It's like you should have some say of the players, but you have to be the coach, because when he got here, there was the defense that Jim Johnson was coaching was already here. I was here, Dawkins was here, Troy Vincent was here, Bobby Taylor was here, Al Harris was here, Hugh Douglas was here, Jeremiah Trotter was here, James Darling was here, Mike Caldwell was here. All of us were already here. It was like we were already here, and Jim Johnson took the defense and handled business and got us to buy into the system that he was doing. You know how many times we lost the game 6-3, and y'all keep talking about an offensive genius? Are you kidding me? We lost to the Green Bay Packers 6-3 with Brett Favre.
You think Andy Reid's overrated?
A little bit. I think he's a great organizer. I feel like he could be a great coach, but I think his hand is too much into the upstairs stuff. And it's just like for some odd reason he can prepare well, but it's like it's a lot of times where once somebody hits us in the mouth, would hit us in the mouth, and would have them discombobulated, we weren't able to make adjustments at times, and it'll be certain times it'll be certain head scratches. And I know the offense guys, I love them, but they won't tell you about the times where we're mashing somebody, you come back out inexplicably in the next series and throw 3 straight passes. When I say match, we'll run the ball down somebody's throat, and inexplicably, the next 3 calls are passes.
You think he's a better coach today in Kansas City than he was in Philly?
I think he's along the lines of the same thing. I think he's letting the other guys do a lot of the play calling and giving up a little bit of the range. But you can still see what was happening here, rearing his ugly head, like people wanted to get the hell out of Dodge. You stand, he's telling you one thing and going another way. It's all a business. But if you treat your players with respect and integrity, then you'll win year in, year out. We won year in, year out here because we believed in Jim Johnson.
Dude, this is awesome, Hollis. I mean, his relationship with Donovan McNabb was what to you?
Who's
Andy Reid's?
I think it became strained at the end because a lot of the older guys, like when I first came in, I was here with like William Fuller. There was Guy McIntyre was here, Riley McKenzie, played with Richard Dent. A lot, and you played with some of the older guys. They were like, "Don't worry, this will be you too on your way, on your last leg, on your way out and stuff." And it rang true. And then we were trying to tell Don that same thing. That sooner or later they're gonna be trying to get rid of your ass as well. I was like, it's not gonna be a picnic. And I think they're cool now. But I know he was pissed because he felt like he could trade him inside the division. You trade him literally to one of our rivals because you don't think he has what it takes. And I don't know into that relationship because I don't really talk to Red. I just saw 5 the other day at Dawkins. We had Dawkins his golf outing. I saw him, but I never asked about him because I don't. Only reason I'm saying something about him is because I heard you praising him and punk ass Tom Brady. Because I don't care who you are. We didn't get into that last time. You cannot be the GOAT with cheating scandals attached to your name. One of them directly involving you. And if it doesn't mean anything, like everybody keeps saying, then why were you doing it? Why were you doing it? You're not. There's only one GOAT. It's actually 2 to me. I love Terry Bradshaw, and I love Joe Montana.
You know this, Hollis, get this, man. Maybe it's because I've become part of the ridiculous modern-day media. I sacked Montana, and let me say this to you. Mm-hmm. I've never been on a football field in my life where everyone looked at that and went, they only have 3 guys, Rice, Montana, and Craig. And I'm going like this. Why can't we stop him? I've never seen anything like Montana. He was so spectacular in the way that he played and the way he moved the chains. You know what? I don't want to sound like, oh, man, get off my lawn, man. But I had this conversation with Randy Cross all the time. I'm like, what do you think Montana would do in today's game?
Carved it up. Oh, my God. Oh, my God. Dude, just if you go back and think of the guys who were hurt and got stuff and were just, got their ass kicked in the old NFL, how would they do in the fresh air fund now? Just think of the receivers and stuff if they were protected like they're protected now. the thing. I don't mind being a good clean hit across the middle, but don't call no penalty. Call it a defensive receiver. You know, if you throw that ball across the middle, somebody coming to knock you on your ass. So you're not defenseless. You know something's coming. They just try to protect. I feel like they try to protect him, but even when the guys are hitting him in the proper fashion, they're getting penalties. It's like pretty much all you can do is just push somebody down. This is what it's turned into, and it's turned into like a powder puff league. And
that's what people say now, especially the guys who played back in that era. Now it's more like a 9-on-7 at times when you're talking.
Well, it's not 9-on-7. You mean 7-on-7.
7-on-7.
9-on-7 normally happens during the playoffs, because a lot of people think that you pass to win. No, you pass. You run to pass, and you pass to get ahead. And once you're ahead, you better start running the ball and getting and moving the chains, because if you don't, that clock stops on every incomplete pass, giving the other team opportunities to get something going and get back in the game. So,
Hollis, what was the one thing that you took away for playing with Jim Johnson that has always stuck with you, and something that you apply when you're watching modern day football and defensive coordinators like Jonathan Gannon? What made him different, guys like him and Monty Kiffin, when it came to being great defensive play callers and defensive coordinators? What was that one thing you thought when you played for him?
Dictating to them what to do, not being afraid to run. You want to pressure them. You don't want to put your defense in a bind, but you also don't want to be scary. It's like you don't. It's like you're. It's not. This is not. If you're scared, call 911. It's like you got. And you got. If you don't have a competent person out there, you better get a competent person out there. He gets his check. They cut his check just like they cut everybody else's. It's like pressure bust pipes. You have to have organized chaos. And I can't use you if you don't know what to do and you can't do it fast. It's like he who hesitates masturbates. I mean, especially if you hesitate on the blitz, your ass is not going to get a second chance with Jim. He will let you know, dude, you're not. That the one thing that I did learn, and then practicing the right way and hustling to the ball. I was already hustling to the ball, but with Jim Johnson, I think we kicked it up a notch, because even the defensive line, if you go back and look at a lot of tapes, we didn't. If you saw, a lot of times we was knocking the crap out of people downfield because we didn't want them to turn on that tape, and we watched the tape in the big defensive meeting room, and he got the red dot on you because you sitting there being a spectator, and that was a loaf. That's like you had something better to do. What are you saving it for?
Pursuit angles, right? Pursuit angles.
You did not want. If he saw you loafing on West Charlotte, the pursuit drill was in practice. I know y'all did the pursuit drill, didn't y'all?
Oh, Miami. With Jimmy Johnson, we did pursuit drills all the time. We used to start Hollis. We would start our practice off for the first 35 minutes with Jimmy Johnson. That was our first drill that we did on defense. Every single day was pursuit drill. My entire life, getting in proper angles. Whole time with him.
We did pursuit drill, interception drill, and fumble drill. Now, if you didn't pursue and they saw us loafing during practice and stuff, that pursuit drill was going to come up more times than not. Because right before practice, before you warm up and stuff and stretch, you look over to see the defense, because right after you stretch, they blow the whistle, and that was the first thing you do was do the defensive team drill. And so you look over there to see what they got set up. If they had the kickers over there and the long snappers, that meant it was pursuit drill. He was like, and they had the three cones that's all the way down at the other end.
Right, they're throwing the ball. Go get it.
No, they would do a pitch.
Oh, a pitch.
And then all the damn DBs would get the spot, because and then if you don't line up five yards apart, like he said, because it's enough for everybody to be all the way down the line. If somebody doesn't have a line to stand on, when you come back, you got to go back to you clap and go back to the back. It's like back again. I was like, oh god. and it had to be perfect. It's like the call would be like Hawk Twist 43, Hawk Twist 43, and try to make the call. They'd be like, break. If everybody didn't break, he would wait to the end and start it all the way over. You had to be everything. Everybody had to clap their hands and break, even if you were standing in the back. Because if you stand in the back, you're supposed to be paying attention. He taught that's the one thing you have to do on defense is paying attention. It was just like, oh man. But it was a great time. It taught you discipline and paying attention and being accountable for your for not only your job, knowing what you could and couldn't do, and knowing what everybody else does.
Absolutely, Hollis. This is great stuff here. Let me ask you this: what would be the one bit of advice that you'd give Jordan Davis as a rookie? Because look, nobody cares what you did in college when you get to the big boy league. Nobody cares you went to Georgia. Nobody cares about the trophies you win. That stuff doesn't matter. You're a great example of that and what your long career was all about. What would be the advice you'd give him?
I actually had a chance to talk to him. I told him to know his stuff and bring that same thigh out that you came with. It's going to be a little bit faster, but come down here and just start dispensing street justice. Kick ass and take names because you can. It's no different. It's going to be some offensive linemen. You played in the roughest league. My advice to him was to always know your stuff. Know your playbook, because if you can't, they can't play you. If you're jumping all around and stuff, if you jumping out of your gap and stuff, because you played in the gap control defense, you get out of your gap, that running back is hitting his head on the goalpost, and you're gonna be sitting on the side, and everybody's gonna be, well, why isn't he in there? Because he don't know what the hell to do. And don't be lazy. Do not be lazy. Don't let them see you loafing. Never let them see you loaf. And that's the worst thing in the world to be dubbed as a lazy ass.
Hollis, I said this to somebody. One of the things that I loved when I got a chance to play next to Ed Jones, I watched Ed Jones, Hollis, 315. He comes in, he gets a rub down. 325, he gets taped. 345, he's there fixing his equipment. 4 o'clock, he's ready to roll. And this was meticulous. Was there a guy in your career? Was there a guy in your career that you gravitated to and said, I need to watch him on what it's like to be a pro? Did you have guidance, or did you have to do it yourself?
There was a bunch of older guys there. I just did what I did to get there. I never hell, my first 4 or 5 years, I didn't even stretch.
Huh?
I just warmed up and went out there.
Huh? Wow, man. Dude, you're a he-man.
No, I just warmed up when because it was like in college, they would tell you to stretch and stuff. I was like, well, hell, I just warmed up. I would come in, either I would get in the hot tub and then get out and get taped up, and then I used to get stretched every once in a while, but I would just stretch when we went out. We would go up there and warm up, and I was like, oh, so we don't stretch when we go out? He was like, no, you have to actually get stretched. I was like, oh, okay. So most of the time I just went out, warmed up, and lock and load.
Man, you're just an ass kicker then. Was your biggest transition to the NFL the studying of game film and watching more game film, or did you do that in college also? Did you just take that to the National Football League, or was that the one thing that you had to be more diligent on, was watching more film?
I had to be more diligent on watching it myself, because we in college, it's force fed to you. You sit in the meetings all day. It's like, hey, get your head off the wall. Oh, okay. And watching it on my own, taking the DVDs and actually watching it on my own, and getting my own special breakdown, because at a point I was on first and second down, and they felt like but I always knew all the third down stuff. I was normally taken out on third and extra long, except for we had like a package where they had just the nose in there to bang around. So I would take home all the screen formations, all the first and second down runs, all the power runs, and all the goal line and short yardage. And I would give my own breakdown from Doc. Doc was the film guy. Doc, he used to give me my own DVD. I take it home, break it down. Then I would have like a whole list of stuff that I knew that they were going to do. And they also broke stuff down too for you to go through the game plan. So it was like more schoolwork that I did when I got to the pros, especially like in my fourth and fifth year. it helped me out tremendously too, because I was out there. It was second nature, especially after getting with Jim that first year, and then coming into that second year, I was able to concentrate more on game film and not just learning his defense anymore, because it was my second year in it. So then I concentrate on game film and what I thought, because Jim used to have us call out, like we would be in there on a Friday, Thursday, late Thursday or Friday, and he would say, "What would you run here?" Basically based off the game plan and what he's been calling.
So he was doing situational play calling with you
Right.
guys on a Friday on the game plan going in.
Right.
Boy, that's what offensive coordinators do usually, but he was doing that, and that's what you're saying about what your defenses did. They set the tone, and they wanted to dictate the game more than having the game dictate to you guys.
Right. And then he would ask. It could be anybody he would ask. If you be sitting in the meeting room, if you were up that week, or you were in there, you were active player. He would call on the usual suspects. Somebody who's a first or second street starter, but then occasionally he would call on that one guy that they were thinking about playing. So you always had to be on your P's and Q's, whether he called on you or not. And then sometimes in the individual meetings at Tommy Brazier, he would say, "Well, what do you got here? Or what would you do here?" It's like, I used to give him he used to break down each offensive lineman. Tommy Brazier did, but then you had to go back through and see if you saw something different than what he saw, because you're going to be obviously you're going to be the one out there playing. So it's just a meticulous thing that I think a lot of people now take for granted. A lot of the guys who are playing now, because I don't see guys use the technique. I see guys just coming to training camp and they throw the weight around and lift the weights and stuff, but you have to work on your steps, your stance to hand to face blow delivery. Even you have to take your face out now, because you can't hit people with your helmet no more. Your hand placement and stuff. You don't want to get called for holding, and you want to move your feet. And you want that first power step. It's pivotal, especially if you don't want to get caught in none of the scoop blocking and the zone blocking that they do, as far as the defense. And you don't want to get elongated and get thrown on your face. And nothing like an offensive lineman trying to teabag you.
Hey, is that standing around a pile?
No, that's taking you off your feet there. Teabagging is when they throw you down and they just.
Oh yeah, that's right. I got it. I got it.
And they just lay on you.
Hey, Jonathan Gannon, what do you make of him?
You know what? I don't know. I all I can say is soft right now, because that's what he gave me last year.
You think he has a soft scheme?
From what I saw last year, I feel like he's got some stuff in there that we haven't seen, and I don't know if he's going to have as I said the other day, the testicle fortitude to call it. But he has to. I think currently he has to shit to get off the pot, because he could have said last year that he didn't have the personnel to do what he'd like to do, but I feel like now I feel like this year this draft went tremendously in our favor to equip him with the stuff of a defense, because you still have a young core. You got people that are already there, but then you added some parts that we truly needed. You added that corner that we needed. You added that interior guy, the extra interior guy that we needed. So in case you don't like what Fletcher Cox is doing and jumping around the blocks and messing up everything, you got that young guy in there that's gonna listen to what you say. You got your nice little linebacker core that's not going to get roasted on third and extra long.
Hollis, I want to stop you here, because I have an argument with people all the time about guys that played in our era, and I'm going to say this about Aaron Donald. I know everybody loves Aaron Donald, but I've never seen a guy run around more blocks in my life and get taken out of position more in my life and play on a defense that gives up 5 yards a carry or 4.5 yards a carry in my life. Man, Warren Sapp and Jerome and them dudes, you're back in them days. Dude, you guys were complete players. Run defense, pass rushing. Am I wrong when I say that about Donald? He runs around blocks.
But you have to look at the scheme that he's in, and he's afforded that. And check, this is what you do. Go look at film, because he doesn't run around that many blocks. Because sometimes you have to watch the scheme.
Okay.
He be destroying people. And when I say destroy people, they try to. Sometimes it be 3 or 4 cats on him, and I don't know how the kid gets through it. But he sometimes it's the scheme. You got to look at the scheme because sometimes they'll put him all the way out and want him to widen everything, to open up everything.
And he's a 6-foot guy too.
No, he's like 6'3".
No, he's sick. Get this. No, because Dave Wannstedt recruited him. He's 6'1", barely.
You sure? Have you stood next to him?
Yeah, he's 6'1", 285. I can't believe he's that short. The way he just runs and pass rushes like that. He's not 6'3".
He's a dominating force. You got to stand next to him.
So I'm wrong when I say that he runs around blocks.
No, sometimes he does run. I think he does run around blocks, but it's kind of like but he still makes a play.
Yeah,
that's like but I also see him. I see him running through people like nobody's business.
Oh yeah,
I'm talking about he'd be destroying people. But who runs around blocks? I don't consider him like.
You think Fletcher runs around blocks?
Sometimes he does. Sometimes
you think he's in the wrong system with Jonathan Gannon?
But I think it's more so. I think Fletcher sometimes runs because he gets frustrated with the vanilla system.
Okay,
and you have to a player like Fletcher Cox. You have to give him something to do.
So you think he still has stuff left, but he's just different. This system doesn't fit his skill set.
Nah, it's unfit. I don't think it fit anybody's skill set. I think if you put Aaron Donald in this, he will be bored because it's kind of like being at practice and running base defense all day long because they know where you're gonna be. It's like, oh God, so it's not. You have nothing dynamic. You can't be out there like I used to know that if I hear a nail stunt, if I hear a nail or a spike, that meant I'm slanting to the inside. That's awesome, dude. I've been hitting you. I line up the same way, and then I slant to the inside. That's a whiff. That's backfield bullloving. You only saw that once or twice with the Birds this past season. He only gave them that caveat like one time, and it's like, come on, dude. And he got brought into the office, to the principal's office, and reprimanded.
Yeah,
Gannon got brought to the principal's office, and I didn't see nothing creative. It's like he hasn't done anything creative with the defense. The defensive line needs to move around. I was like, especially if you're going to have them lined up and expecting them to do what you like to stop the run with just them 4, because our linebackers were slow last year. If you them 4, and you need to give them some moving around because the one couple of times he did it, our defensive line was killing. It's like we had a Fugazi 10th ranked defense last year. It was Fugazi. It's like no, you go look at some of the drives we gave up. I think we gave up a damn 19-play drive, 18 or 19-play drive.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Absolutely. I think it was a 49er game. I think it was one of those games that it was one of those. Two last questions here for me.
Okay.
Let me throw this at you here. Do you think this football team has too much hype on it right now as you're hearing all the accolades that what Howie has done? They're coming off a playoff season, or do you think that they're tempered enough in that locker room and enough leadership in that locker room to be okay going into September?
The funny thing is, somebody else asked about the leadership in the locker room. You still got Brandon Graham there. You got. I feel like you got a lot of humble guys in that locker room, and a lot of guys who are out to prove something. And this is the other thing too that I haven't seen here in quite some time. You got a lot of guys who come from winning programs, who know how to win and know what it takes to win. And I feel like it's this. They're young, and I know that they're not going to know any better, and that's the best thing in the world. They're not going to know any better. It's like I don't think some people are patting them on their back. I was like, but I still would be looking at them sideways because last year a lot of these jerkwads was talking about they were going to win 4 games, only going to win 4 games. If you go back and look, I'm the only one that said they would win 9+ games and be in the playoffs. I said we're going to get our ass kicked in the playoffs. I was like, but we'll have an opportunity to play one playoff game and get some experience. This year, I figure like we're going to take a step up and win a couple more games, like 10 or 11 games, and be in the playoffs and possibly win that first playoff game, get that first playoff game because it's a maturation because they're a young squad. Now they may make a little bit more noise than that, but I feel like that's like with me. I feel like that's a good progression for me for them because I feel like they have the lines, the coaches, the offensive line, the defensive line. That's where it all starts. And we added to last year. We added some integral backup parts, like some guys who can step in, so that next man principle could actually mean something. which they got a year under their belt with Milton, the couple of cats they got out of Coastal Carolina and Tulane that to add a little bit of depth there. They got their feet wet last year. So now they've been in the assistant ones 1 year. Now you add Jordan. And then you also got Sweat. You brought I don't know why you brought the first round pick back.
Or Derek Burnett.
Derek Burnett, but because he's a 15-yard penalty waiting to happen. But then you get BG back, who can play inside and outside. And then not only that, look at TJ. You got TJ Edwards. Then you get the kid from San Diego. You got a lot of guys who are humble, who are looking to prove something. And a lot of guys who want to come here because I think they want to play here. You want to know why they want to play here? Because they want the fans cheering. They don't want to be booed. It's like and when you're a player like that, that means you come to play. So I personally think this should be an interesting, happy season.
Jalen Hurts. Chris Sims ranked him 25th out of the top 40 quarterbacks in the NFL. Do you think more of him? Do you think he's the future of this franchise? How do you see Jalen Hurts as of?
I see him better than Chris Sims.
By far.
Chris Sims is not Phil Sims.
No, he's not.
By any stretch of the means.
Yeah.
I feel like it's like sometimes when I hear he's better than Dan. Chris Sims is better than Dan Ostrowski. sometimes it's like sometimes people have too much confidence and they shouldn't, and they throw things around. It's like you rank. Yeah, you can rank him 25th. But that's kind of personally. I think that's kind of what he earned because he's like basically kind of a running quarterback. And some guys missed some passes, and he was off on some passes. I expect him to rectify that and be moved up the list. And now if he has them below some of the other bums that I've seen, like
Daniel Jones.
Really?
No. He has here. Hollis.
He has Daniel Jones.
Hey. Here's some of the guys who he has ranked ahead of him.
Okay.
Justin Fields, Trevor Lawrence, Zach Wilson, and Daniel Jones.
Justin Fields. Who the hell is Zach Wilson?
Justin Fields is 23rd. Zach Wilson, 22.
Who the hell is Zach Wilson?
Jones is 21.
Who is Zach Wilson?
He's that kid that's up with the Jets.
Get the hell out of here.
Hey, Hollis, the only thing I know about the Jets is Fireman Ed. That's
Now I know Joe Douglas is up there, and I like Zach Wilson, but I would blitz the hell out of Zach Wilson. Get the hell out of here. And then you really who else is ahead? Who else is ahead of him?
Justin Fields.
Justin Fields, get out of here. He can't get out of his own damn way.
I know. I think he's a bust.
I don't think he's going. I think he's going to be a bust.
I think Daniel Jones is a bust.
I don't know why. I don't know why Daniel Jones missed a pick six himself.
Why they gave the new coach that dude, Hollis? Why didn't they just cut ties? They cut ties with the GM, the head coach. Why wouldn't you cut ties with the quarterback? You know who sucks.
Well, because they're doing the same thing they did with Sam Darnold. I bet you got Sam Darnold ahead of him too, don't you?
No. Those are just the guys because he's 25th, man. No, he's 25th, and Darnold's not ranked ahead of him.
Who else is ranked ahead of him?
No, he got the rest of that list coming out next week.
Okay, because his list holds no validity because he can't even keep his spleen. No pun intended.
Hey, all right. I got one last question.
He did get hit pretty hard though. I thought I gained a lot of respect for Chris, and he played when he was playing.
He broke his spleen. I was there.
Yeah, he ruptured it. Yeah,
ruptured his spleen there.
Versus the Carolina Panthers.
Yeah, that's right. I was working in Tampa at the time, and I think he even finished the game.
He did. That's what I said. He had a lot of, not so much that he had to earn any respect, but I was like, man, he's a lot tougher than I thought he was. But with that list and start him at 25 and put Zach Wilson in front of him, and also Daniel Jones, who can't work his way out of the paper bag, who's had all the weapons known to man and stands back there occasionally and makes his offensive line look bad. The list already is flawed.
How about this, man? Finally, what was it like for you playing for the Eagles and playing in front of those fans?
Those are the greatest, dude. I think the couple of single best moments in my career. It's been a few great moments. Was when we got over the hump. I had been hurt for 3 straight years for the NFC Championship game, and we played against the Falcons. When we got over the hump, I had never heard the fans cheer that loud before, dude. I was like that between that and just being the Eagle fans, the fans in general around here are the greatest fans on earth. We get a lot of bad raps and stuff talk about being violent, but I don't think they're that violent. If you suck, they're gonna let you know you suck. They treat you if you played here and you were any good whatsoever, you don't have to buy a meal or anything in this town or a drink in this town when you're here.
Hollis, what was the best environment? Because I'm going to ask people this in the next hour. The vet or the link?
The vet. You want to know why? Because the opposing team was scared. The link is like it's they correct. Yeah, but y'all still.
What do you think it looks like, a country club?
Well, yes, the country club is like we're creating with you guys, but it's like you still get some stank from in the link though. But you don't get the vet funk. The vet funk. We had a jail at the vet.
You did. Hey, I told Seth Joyner this when Buddy brought me in. I went down I go like this. Holy cow, their locker room looks like a prison. I mean, you guys had all these. You guys had these cages. It's shit down there under the vet. This is where your lockers were, and I'm going like, man, this looks like a prison down here, man.
When when John Groove was working late, and he heard some cats and some rats fighting up in the drop ceiling, and it fell down. You know the drop ceiling. You know the old drop ceiling.
Yeah.
The thing came down on his desk. He's like, it was some cats and rats fighting up there. But no, it was the vet. The vet gave us the best edge. And a lot of people were scared to play on the turf, and then once they fixed that, the thing.
That tear that used to be on the field? You guys had this seam rip in the middle of the field, and I'm going like, what's wrong with the turf, man?
that wasn't no turf. That was glorified carpet.
Dude, were you in the Michael Irvin game?
Yeah, he did that on his own. He was scared of Timmy Hawk. You didn't even know that, did you?
Oh, man, you're killing my boy now, man. What do you mean he did it on his own?
The only reason I'm killing him is because what he said about he should be ashamed of himself for what he said about Todd Pinkston. When Todd Pinkston said he lost the ball in the lights, but there's Sean Taylor at 6'3", 250 pounds, and Todd Pinkston 6'3", 170 pounds. I would lose the ball in the lights too. But he was Michael Irvin. It was a slant route on 4th and 1. They hiked the ball. I stepped off the ball, and then I watched the ball. Michael Irvin looked up. He looked at the ball. He looked at the ball. He looked up. Timmy Hawk was coming down. That's a safety. If one or two things was gonna happen, either you was gonna get hurt or everybody was gonna get hurt when Timmy Hawk hit you. And everybody knew that. He had already made the fullback fumble on 4th and 1. Michael Irvin looked at him and tried to duck. When he tried to duck, he face planted on vet what we call turf. And then lunchtime ran down there trying to lay hands. Talking about he had healing hands.
Hey, wait, Hollis, I'm gonna call my boy. I'm gonna go like this. Hey, man, some of them guys said, man, you did a prayer job up there, and you prayed to Jesus, man, and got on your hands and knees, and it was more you getting on your hands and knees. You didn't want to get hit.
Yes, it was. No, it was Deion Sanders came down and tried to talk about to do it like this and try to lay hands on him. I was like, if you don't get your ass up, but that's why I called him lunchtime.
Hey, Hollis, thank you so much. Please, can we do this again?
Most definitely. Just anytime you need me, I'm around.
Got it.
I was over here chilling, man. I was getting ready to make me some bacon and eggs.
Awesome, man. Thank you so much, Hollis.
I appreciate you for having me, man.
Have a great Memorial Day weekend, my friend.
Oh, you too, man. Happy holidays.
You got it, man. That is Hollis Thomas, man. That was so much fun. Wow. Do we have to do that again, man? That was so much fun. Hey, my friends at Morgan & Morgan, where the fee is free, my friends. That means this. Finding an attorney is one of the most important things you could possibly do for you and your family. If you're hurt or injured on the job, getting that attorney's the most important thing. Think about it. The last 30 years, Morgan & Morgan has collected over $13.5 billion in compensation settlements for their clients. For the people, it's not a slogan. It is completely who they are, with over 800 attorneys and offices in Philadelphia, New York, Florida, and across the country. The army of attorneys that Morgan & Morgan has for you is unlimited. They are the biggest casualty law firm in the United States of America. That's right. No one's bigger, and there's no such thing as a fender bender. Call them. 800-512-1600. That's 800-512-1600. The consultation's free. Call them at 800-512-1600. And when you call Morgan & Morgan, do me a favor. Tell them Big Sil sent you.
When choosing a lawyer for your injury case, you may ask, does the size of the law firm matter? Well, of course it does. The insurance company, they're huge with unlimited resources. And whether your case is big or small, they're built to bully you out of the money you're owed. But here's the good news. We're big too, the biggest actually. And we're built to fight to make them pay for all that was taken from you. Size is our strength. There's only one Morgan & Morgan, forthepeople.com.